That was a good squad photo.
Good. Like a good
Yeah, I
squad
look great
photo.
after 101-degree fever all day.
I know it. You have the flu like I had.
What,
I'm
you have COVID?
No, she's the
No.
flu.
How do you know you don't have COVID?
Because I can taste stuff and I tested negative yesterday.
If I was you, I'd think I had COVID. That's all I'm going to
I
say.
tested negative. I'm going to get tested again, but I can
Yeah,
taste
you
it.
better. You better not come
Brandon's-
anywhere close to me.
Brandon's gonna kill us.
No, I'm not. I believe Katie probably has COVID.
No, she doesn't, because she tested negative.
I'm on Team Jack with this one. I
had the same symptoms she had last week, and I tested negative for COVID, positive for the flu.
You've had COVID 9 times.
I've had COVID one time, and it was a year ago.
A year ago, you were the first one to get COVID?
I got COVID March the 15th last year.
You did not. Did
Swear
you?
to God. Swear to God. Know where I got it from and everything.
So you beat the crowd.
Yeah, luckily it was like the weekend of lockdown. Like I started feeling shitty the next week, but I know exactly where I got it.
Was it a dude?
I don't really feel like airing people's business out.
Hello, welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast. Bro, what are you looking at me like that for, Jack?
That was so like professional, and usually it's hi, but you were just like, hi everybody. Like I thought I was in my first class of
It was so professional you decided to stop it.
a college course.
It did have a little bit of NPR to it, and I've said that to you before, but I will give you credit. Like we never record at this time of night, and you and I all of us have had hellish days. So you can say it however you want, Brandon.
I just think it's wild that he admired how professional it was to the point where he had to stop it.
It's a good point, Jack.
All right, I'm going to pick it up. Let's act like he never ruined it. Okay. Hello. Welcome to Unnecessary Roughness, Barstool's college football podcast, brought to you by our good friends at High Noon Hard Seltzer. Boy, that High Noon Hard Seltzer. We'll get to those guys in a minute. Later on the show, we'll talk about our 60 best quarterbacks of 2000s. We'll talk about, some fun things in the world of college football. We got 5 questions from old Kayce Smith over there. And we got other stuff. Kayce, hi, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Brandon. Did you know that High Noon has real vodka, real juice for real fans just like us?
Just like us?
Just like us.
Well, next thing you'll tell me, they got great flavors like grapefruit, black cherry, and pineapple.
And peach.
Wow.
And lime.
This is crazy.
It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And I'm so, so very grateful to be on your program this evening.
Thank you for being on the program. We also have, I believe, from Manhattan, Jack McGuire. Joining Jack, looking like Darth Vader in an apartment somewhere, is Catherine Statistics. Hello, Katie.
Hi, Brandon.
Welcome to the show. I'm checking in from room 709 in a hotel down here in old Jacksonville, Florida. Good to see everybody.
Good to see you.
And don't forget to remind everyone that this program is publicly funded, and to let them know where the donation link is.
Correct. And if you what's a good NPR giveaway? Do they like if you send them $300, they'll send you like a pair of mittens or something?
No, yeah, or 2 tickets to a conversation with a 25-year veteran on the state Senate.
Yes, indeed. Speaking of states, I want to go home to mine. Kayce, do you want to go home to yours?
No.
I do. We're open, baby. We're open for business in Mississippi. I want to go there tomorrow. It's time to open this motherfucker up. I'm ready to go home. I want to go watch a movie. I want to go eat something. I want to go to the theater. I want to go eat. I want to go to a ball game. We're open for business in Mississippi. Fuck what you heard.
Yeah, no, Texas is open for business. I would like to see how it pans out before I go back to Texas. I'll be honest.
Here's the thing. Greg Abbott's pussy ass came out and said, hey, we're going to be opening March 10th. And my governor said, fuck that. We're open tomorrow, bitches.
Are we the only two? Well, like we live in New York, but are Texas and Mississippi the only two that have done this?
I think they are the first.
Yeah. See, like you remember the meme that went viral probably around this year, last year, when it was like, I want to like see what happens. I'm going to stay inside. Y'all let me know. Like that's kind of the way I feel about it right now. Like I don't want to know what chaos happens. If there's no chaos, I'd love to go home, but I kind of want to wait and see because it makes me a little nervous. I feel like we're in like the fourth quarter of this thing and we might have rushed the opening. But hey, to each their own.
I'd feel like a real hypocrite if I sat here in a hotel room in Jacksonville, Florida after flying 2 days in a row and not want to go to an open state. So I can't wait. Anyway, we're playing. Let me tell you this. Football might be different in your state come this fall, but in my state, we're playing ball and everybody's coming.
Well, Alabama's already announced that, like, for sure, right? That they're going to have 100% capacity at Bryant-Denny.
Yeah.
Well, so Alabama's there.
We coming.
I mean, the SEC played with fans last year, so that would be crazy. Hey, listen, to each their own. I'm going to wait. You go to Mississippi. Let me know. Let me know how the movie theaters feel. Let me know how it feels to be at a ball game. I'd like to know.
Can I just point something out? You realize that me and you went to a ball game in Mississippi like 6 months ago.
You right? I forgot about that. What's like people are like, oh, what's the last sporting event you've attended? I'm like, damn, I guess maybe it was the Super Bowl in Miami. It was like, oh no, it was we went to Mississippi this year. You had to drive home. If people remember that. I mean, I missed an episode of this podcast because I refused to do it with you because of that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you were very mean to me, and I tried to respond with a joke, and you couldn't take it.
We're not doing this again. We're not doing this. Jack's holding up both hands. Like, this is like why I love that we're on YouTube, the full episode, because you can just see the facial expressions that we all give each other. I don't know if we all love or hate each other, but we are very expressive towards each other.
I love one of you at all times.
Just depends on the day.
And his haircut looks fantastic. So we got a lot to talk about. Actually, a pretty good bit to talk about, considering we're in the dregs of the offseason. We're in the deepest recesses of the offseason. But I got to thinking today, first of all, there were a couple of interesting thought starter articles last week by national guys that I want to talk about. One that pissed me off more than any articles pissed me off in a very long time.
That's saying something.
Gets my blood pumping.
That's saying something.
I want to talk about that. And Katie, did you send it to me? Yeah, you did. Okay, very good. I'm downloading it from Katie. So anyway, Bill Connelly for ESPN wrote an article, the 60 best quarterbacks of the 2000s, since 2000. And this, first of all, I want to say right off the top, Bill Connelly is good at what he does. I like Bill Connelly. Jack, you're a stat guy. You would agree? Katie, y'all agree that Bill Connelly is good at what he does?
He's very good at what he does.
I think he's one of the best at what he does.
I think he absolutely. If I had to think of a top 5 media guys around college football, Bill Connelly's in that list, and he's in that very easily, comfortably. This is the biggest piece of trash I've ever seen. I don't know what he was, if he was high, if he was drunk, if he did it on a dare. I want to talk
trolling.
about that.
Was he trolling? You have to throw that one in.
Jack, you seem like you're going to agree with all his takes here. I just hate it. So we'll just dive in right there. I don't want to dilly dally. So Bill Connelly comes out last week, the 60 best quarterbacks since 2000. I got to tell you right now, I'm a homer. Fine, sue me. I'm a homer. You're telling me there's been 60 better quarterbacks than Dak Prescott, who took Mississippi State to number 1.
Not even.
You're going to tell me that there's 60 better quarterbacks than Dak Prescott, who has been a 3-time Pro Bowler, who finished 8th in the Heisman Trophy. You're telling me there's 60 better quarterbacks. You're telling me Kevin Cobb at Houston is better. You're telling me Andy Dalton. You're telling me Matt Barkley. You're telling me Todd Reesing at Kansas better than Dak motherfucking Prescott. What are we doing?
Todd Reesing was the most insulting, and he wasn't even number 60, but I feel like he was the most insulting.
But Kayce, I think he's not number 1. He's not top 10, but I think Dak is closer to number 1 than he is to number 60.
I would completely agree with that. I actually read the list multiple times to make sure I wasn't missing the fact that Dak wasn't on it. Because first of all, like, I was offended at how low that he put Johnny. I mean, I think Johnny at 13 is offensive. So once I got past that, I was like, oh, okay, there's no Dak Prescott on this list. Baker Mayfield is number 1. And listen, I love Baker. Baker Mayfield is not the number 1 quarterback of the 2000s.
So there's so many things here. Number 1,
Baker Mayfield.
I couldn't get over Dak not being on the list. I just looked at the list, like Mason Rudolph, Dan LaFever at Central Michigan, Jordan Lynch, Kyle Trask, Mac Jones,
Chase Daniel was better than Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott was incredible. Dak Prescott carried Mississippi State on his back to number 1. Nobody's ever got Mississippi State to the top 5. And he threw for 29 touchdowns, 5 interceptions his senior year. As a sophomore, he played half the time. He scored 25 touchdowns. He had like 50 touchdowns as a junior.
It's unfathomable. And here's the thing: is like everybody who, whatever their school is, you're going to be biased towards your quarterbacks, right? Like you're going to be like, oh, my guy should be higher. As a college football fan, I was offended Dak Prescott was not on the list, not because of you, not because of Mississippi State, because now I like them more because of you. No, it's just like ridiculous that he is not on this list.
Okay, now let's get past that. This is not a Mississippi State podcast. It's a college football podcast. I just want to read his top 10. This is the top 60 quarterbacks since 2000, according to Bill Conley of ESPN, who is phenomenal. He's great. Number 10, RG3. Number 9, Marcus Mariota. Number 8, Lamar Jackson. By the way, pretty much everybody in this top 10 won a Heisman. Probably all but one, I think.
All but one.
Yeah. RG3 10, Mariota 9, Lamar Jackson 8, Kyler Murray 7, which Kyler Murray over Lamar Jackson is smoking dope. Deshaun Watson 6, Joe Burrow 5, Tim Tebow 4, Vince Young 3, Cam Newton 2, Baker Mayfield 1. I think Baker Mayfield is closer to 15 than he is 1. I think you're telling me Baker Mayfield is the best quarterback in college football since 2000? This is like the height of everything I hate about college football. This is the Oklahoma quarterback, the fake Oklahoma quarterback Heisman machine is in full effect here, that somebody can say Baker Mayfield's better than Cam goddamn Newton. Sorry.
No, it's okay. You know what? You're passionate about it. I completely agree with you. Every time I see one of these lists, I want like a for dummies why this list was made. Like, I don't want like, oh, I took this random statistic and this random statistic and put it like, no, tell me why you actually think Baker Mayfield is better than Cam Newton. Tell me why you think Deshaun or Kyler Murray is better than Johnny Manziel. Just tell me why. And like in layman's terms, like, don't give me these fucking numbers. Like, give me a real reason why Baker Mayfield should be number 1. And no one can. Not even Oklahoma fans can.
I look at 13 Johnny Manziel and 12 Colt McCoy. What are we doing?
Because Colt McCoy like played at a higher level in college. Like, what are we doing? Like, and again, like, it's not an A&M podcast, but like Johnny Manziel's 13th. Johnny Manziel's not in the top 10.
Baker Mayfield at 1 is crazy. Now I'm about to re-rank them the way I think they. What
are you shaking your head about, Jack?
It's not like I don't think I was that crazy of a list.
Based off of what, Jack?
All right. Do you think Baker Mayfield's a better college quarterback than Cam Newton?
At the top of his article, he said, how are we going to compare somebody like Cam Newton or a Joe Burrow or a Mac Jones who just had one massive season to a Baker Mayfield or a Case Keenum or the Kevin Cobbs of the world?
Fine.
Now so he obviously valued more so that Baker did it for 3 years at Oklahoma. And let's not forget that when Baker came to Oklahoma, they weren't like this. He didn't walk in like Kyler Murray did or Jalen Hurts did. He walked into a situation. They just got blown out by West Virginia. Oh no, they just got blown out by Clemson in the what bowl was it? It was like the Gator Bowl or something. Russell Athletic Bowl.
If you were going to start a college football team tomorrow, would you take Baker Mayfield over Cam Newton?
Well, like in terms of
in
what?
like in their prime, like if you the best, like we're not talking about like longevity of careers. Like, who is a better college football quarterback?
No, I agree that Cam Newton was probably the best for a single season, but I think he was just saying that at the end of the day, Cam Newton only played for 1 year.
Okay, here's my issue then. Okay, if you want to say multiple years, all right. Baker Mayfield played 3 years at Oklahoma, put up big numbers in a bad conference, never reached a national title game. Everybody behind him, Deshaun Watson at 6, had the same number of years, was just as good, won a national title. Cam Newton won a national title. Vince Young won a national title. Tim Tebow won 2 national titles. Joe Burrow. These are all guys right behind him. So if you say Deshaun Watson, if you say it's got to be career, I would put Deshaun Watson's career right up next to Baker's. And oh yeah, he actually won something. He wasn't just a fake a fake guy at the top of a fake program.
And he should have won the Heisman the year that Lamar won it.
Let me say it a better way: a real guy at the top of a fake program.
No, yeah, I agree with. Again, we're talking about how do you rank careers, and Baker had a better statistical career, but I understand the argument that he did in the Big 12. But it's not like the ACC that Deshaun Watson played in was phenomenal. But he did win a national championship. You're right.
I'm honestly, and maybe this is like how everybody interprets the list differently. Like I wasn't looking, and I like Baker. I would put Baker in the top 15, but I'm not looking at it as even with conferences. I'm looking at it as from a college quarterback career standpoint, 1 year, 4 years, whatever, who I thought was the best. And I don't think Baker is number one. I just don't. Like, I don't care if what conference he played in.
Yeah, I mean, he threw, his stats are on the list. I mean, he threw for 14,600 yards, 130 touchdowns, and ran for another 20. I mean, the guy, I can listen to you guys saying that maybe he should have been 7, but I think you may be underrating him a bit. I mean, also he won a Heisman and then got picked number 1 in the draft.
We're not underrating
like
him.
We're talking about a bum.
Number 1.
Baker Mayfield, incredible quarterback, fantastic quarterback.
I'm not underrating him at all. It's just he shouldn't be number 1.
I just think it's a silly list when you put him ahead of Cam Newton, Vince Young, Tim Tebow. Like Tebow, you don't talk about a career. I mean, Mayfield's career doesn't sniff Tim Tebow's. Doesn't sniff it.
No, yeah, I think we can disagree on the top 10, and then also I agree with you that Dak should have been on there, and maybe he should have put in a little bit more thought into like program changing quarterbacks, because Dak Prescott, you could argue, is one of the most important players for a program over the past however many years, the 2000s, 21st century. But I don't think a lot of people were really mad about this list, so it's not. I'm probably the outlier here, but most of what I looked at was like I thought it wasn't that bad. I looking at it now, I think he properly ranked people like Mac Jones 35. I mean,
I'll tell you who else he underrated. You know who else he underrated? Florida State was an above average program, and Jameis Winston came in, wins a Heisman, wins a national title. Jameis Winston should be higher than 16, I believe.
That's also another conversation that I probably would agree with on.
Matt Ryan 17 seems a little low.
I mean, I don't like Trevor Lawrence not being in the top 10 is crazy to me.
He's 11, but
top 10 is a tough nut to crack.
And I also would say I understand from the perspective of an A&M and Manziel. I mean, also talk about not a program changing, but a sport changing player. Like truly, he brought college football past. Like everyone loved watching him. But Colt McCoy, I don't hate that he's 13 and Colt McCoy's 12. But also, I mean, I understand that if someone was to say that's ridiculous.
But why do you not like? Why just because Colt McCoy played for a national title?
Well, that, and I mean, Colt McCoy played for 4 years and was phenomenal.
I guess when I just look at these lists, I look and I think okay, if all of these guys were the same age and I could pick any of them, who I think the number 1 to number 60 quarterback would be, that's the way I look at it, like who the most talented was, who the most electric was, who put, like that. I don't look at it from like a career standpoint, because like if you stay for 4 years, like that's great, but you could, if you were really, really fucking good, you could have left earlier too.
So here's my issue, Jack. If you want to rank it by careers, you can put Baker number 1. But if you do that, you can't put Cam 2. You're either saying it's just career or just how good they were. Because if it's career, Baker's number 1, then Cam can't be 2, because Cam only had the 1 year. But if Cam's 2, then you're weighing how good they were in their best years. And so Cam has to be number 1. It's like confusing. The top 2 seem to be using 2 different criteria, but it's a list, and lists are made to create discussion. And Bill Connelly did his job here. He got me fired up about it in March.
We're so mad online about this list. I mean, Jack, you're right. Like you said, you think that you're an outlier of like kind of thinking it's an okay list. When this first came out, I didn't see one fan base that was happy. Not like even Oklahoma fans weren't happy, and they got the number 1 spot.
I just like Kyler Murray ahead of Lamar Jackson's crazy.
I really we're going into a little bit smaller down the line, but the fact that he put Jordan Lynch and Denard Robinson in over Dak Prescott, I think is a little bit crazy, considering that Dak had much better stats
And in the career too. You talk
and
about
career. The Jordan Lynch thing, I mean, come on.
Like Kevin Cobb in Houston.
I'm looking at Andy Dalton.
Also, Keenan Reynolds was a running back. I know it's cool that he wanted to put in a triple option court, but he was a running back at Navy.
Todd Reesing at Kansas was just a game manager. He was
also.
That was the one that stood out to me the most of being like, oh wow, he put Todd Reesing, but not Dak Prescott.
Brandon, Brad Banks, what?
Well, I kind of like that one. Brad Banks was something else. I kind of like that.
I mean, I guess maybe the ahead of his time argument kind of thing, but still.
I hate Iowa, but I love Brad Banks. I don't know. Colin Klein over Dak Prescott. Like Colin Klein, Dak Prescott were the same player. Dak was just a lot better at it.
Yeah.
Also,
Colin Klein, God, it feels like he was playing forever ago, but he was in the Heisman race with Johnny and Manti Te'o.
There's definitely some guys on this list that I'm forgetting that aren't ranked right now in this top 60 that should have been ahead of Zach Wilson too. There's got to be some recency bias.
Zach Wilson had one good year, and it was just
I mean, he was playing UTSA and like Louisiana Monroe at nights in elevation in the middle of Nevada. Wait, where's Utah?
It's in Utah.
Sorry, my bad. But we can talk about Zach Wilson until we're blue in the face, but come on, he wasn't that good until this year.
All right. So let's move from that list to another list that kind of got
hold on. Who would be your number 1?
For me?
Yeah.
I would go Cam.
Yeah.
It's difficult though because Burrow technically had a better one season, but Cam only had the one opportunity. Like Burrow had multiple opportunities and then turned it on for that 1 year. I would go Cam, Vince, Tebow's top 3 to me. I'll go Cam, Vince, Tebow, and if you wanted to say Tebow was number 1, I would be fine with it. If you want to say Vince was number 1, I'd be fine with it. But I go Cam number 1.
I do too.
Cam is the only. I think Cam's the only player that I can remember in the last 20 years that won a national title by himself. There was no other NFL talent on that team.
Yeah,
he won a national title by himself.
And he just waltzed in and did it in 1 year. So yeah, no, I would put Cam on there. I totally agree with Vince and with Tim Tebow. I mean, Joe Burrow's got to be up there. Maybe again, it's bias. I think Johnny's got to be up there too, just because of the way he played. But I just Baker just should not be number 1. But continue on.
I think Baker should be a solid top,
15.
Top 8 guy. Maybe I put him behind Cam, Vince, Tebow, Burrow, Watson. I put him ahead of Kyler Murray. I put him ahead of Mariota.
I wouldn't put him ahead of Lamar Jackson.
I put him ahead of RG3. So
yeah, so top 10. So he's top 10.
No, he's solid top 10. I just think number 1's crazy.
Jack and Katie, have you guys gotten on the HelloFresh train yet?
I actually got on the HelloFresh train before they joined our podcast. So having them on it's special. It's one of those things where I'm like, yes, we got HelloFresh because I've been on the train for a little bit now.
So you're an OG HelloFresh guy. What about you, Katie?
I need to get on. I think I might finally do it with this code.
So Katie, here's the thing. And I think that I've said this on this podcast before. And so hopefully the guy I'm seeing is not listening to this right now. But what I've been doing is pretending like I'm cooking, but I'm really using HelloFresh because they make it so easy for me. They send everything in like the perfect amount of ingredients. They give you step-by-step. I mean, it's coloring by numbers, but then I make sure the meal is cooked before he gets to my apartment. So then it looks like I've made this absolute chef's meal, when in reality, HelloFresh is just helping me out. It's the cheat code that just impresses people. I don't know why you wouldn't do it. Katie.
No, I'm
She's
very
like
impressed.
pondering. She's like, is this a good idea? Like, yes, it's a good idea, Katie.
No, it is. I'm terrible at cooking for myself. So this is something I think is really going to help me get my life together and not eat ramen or something bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, because it's like it's all fresh, and because you can pick all your different boxes, you can pick your meals. So it's like, oh, it's just going to be cooking for me this week. Oh, I'm going to be cooking for multiple people. And the best part is it's like way cheaper than going to the grocery store because they give you the exact amount, so you don't have to go buy like a bottle of mayonnaise. It's like they send you the exact amount. It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
so worth to buy a whole thing of spices when you need just a little teeny thing and end up throwing away the entire thing.
Exactly. So not with HelloFresh at all. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again. Like it's actually one of the only ads I actually pay for. Like I pay my own money to get HelloFresh because I love it so much. And right now, all of you guys should. It's absolutely amazing. Go to HelloFresh.com/Walker12. And if you use the code Walker12, you get 12 free meals, including free shipping, which is insane. 12 free meals. And again, these are high quality, nutritious, delicious meals. You can pick your different boxes. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/Walker12. Use the code Walker12 for 12 free meals, including free shipping. It's the #1 meal kit in America. Yeah.
All right. This other list was by Andy Staples, our good friend Andy Staples. And thank you to these guys for doing these conversation starters because it really got me going. So he had the top 10 program changing players of the last 30 years, something like that. Dak Prescott did make this list. He's number 8. David Montgomery, running back, Iowa State. Ron Dane, running back, Wisconsin. Andrew Luck, Stanford. Joey Harrington, QB, Oregon. Pat Fitzgerald, linebacker at Northwestern. LaDainian Tomlinson, running back, TCU. Alex Smith, quarterback, Utah. CJ Spiller, running back, Clemson. And Reggie Bush, #1, running back, USC. It's a good list. It's a thought-provoking list. I have some guys that I think should be on there ahead of others. I think one guy that doesn't get any credit that should, and it sounds crazy, is Julio Jones at Alabama was Saban's first huge recruit.
It's a good
He
one.
was his first 5-star recruit, and they were average in the mid-2000s. Alabama is one of the best programs ever, and we're always going to bounce back. But Julio Jones signing with Saban out of Mobile started the dynasty. It started the dynasty, and I think he is a program-changing recruit. And I think Reggie Bush being #1 on this list is even worse than Baker Mayfield being #1 on the other list.
Oh, I disagree with that. I mean, it's not, I wouldn't put him at #1, but I don't think it's as egregious as putting Baker Mayfield as the best quarterback.
Reggie Bush didn't change a goddamn thing. Carson Palmer won the Heisman in 2002 at USC, and then the next year they won a national title. Carson Palmer brought him back. Reggie Bush was just one of dozens of great players there. Plus, he was a running back. Lindale White was very important to their success. Matt Leinart was very important to their success. Reggie Bush was part of the group that changed everything, but he wasn't the one. Like Carson Palmer won a Heisman before he even got there.
Yeah, that is true. But I don't know, like, and again, like this is one of those things like I would want to talk to Andy, which we can easily do because we both have his phone number, like what made him pick these and why these guys in these spots. But I feel like the casual fan of college football, when you think of USC and in their heyday, you think of Reggie Bush. Like, I don't think that's a crazy thought at all. So if like you look at it and you say like Reggie Bush in the early 2000s, like that's what you put with USC. Would you not agree?
No, if you look at it from that standpoint, but to me, he's just being the face of the program isn't changing the program. I think the program had been changed when he got on top.
Yeah, no, I mean, and the program was already on the rise, but I do think that Reggie Bush, maybe from a casual college football fan standpoint, is what that they would connect with USC more so than Carson Palmer, even though he did it before he was there.
I like the idea of maybe Danny Werfel in '96. Florida had been a high-flying passing game and had been getting better and better, but he won the Heisman, he won the national title. All of a sudden, Florida is a national title program, which they've been here and there ever since. So Danny Werfel changed Florida forever.
I love the LT one at TCU because like that to me is I was young when he was playing, but like even as an Aggie household, like I was paying attention to TCU because of LaDainian Tomlinson.
I think the best two on here are number 3, Alex Smith at Utah. Mm-hmm. Utah was nothing, and they had a #1 pick. They had this. He led them to that undefeated season. Alex Smith at Utah was fantastic. And I think Ron Dane at Wisconsin is a very big program changing guy because the template that of Wisconsin football, the running game, the I formation, handing it to the running back and having an elite running back every year, it probably predates Ron Dane, but he was the first major Wisconsin running back. He set the record. He won the Heisman, and they've had a Ron Dane clone ever since 1999. I think he has set the next 20 years of that program.
I see he's one like hand up I wouldn't have even thought of because it's just like he played so long ago, but you're right. I mean, the whole like run the damn ball and all of that, like that started with him. He just, I wouldn't have thought of him, but it makes complete sense why Andy would put him on his list.
I'm surprised that a certain quarterback was left off this.
I got one. I got a quarterback that I'd like to say.
Okay, when did he play? Let's see if we have the same one.
2016 he was playing.
Okay. I was going to say a guy who played a little bit earlier than that.
You say yours, I'll say mine.
All right. I think RG3 not being on here is interesting.
Okay. I'll let you say, but I want to say my guy, and then we'll go back and we'll fill it in. So he's got CJ Spiller for Clemson. I understand he was a 5-star recruit. He was a major recruit, and they would get major recruits later. But remember when Clemsoning was a thing? Remember when getting close and not making it was a thing?
Yep.
Deshaun Watson took him from a joke to a national championship caliber program.
I mean, I like the Clemsoning thing was one of my favorite things to tweet out during that time. It was
now it's ancient history.
Yeah, and Deshaun Watson changed that. I am going to disagree with the RG3 thing. I mean, I guess yes, he won a Heisman.
Let's see what he says about it. Lay out RG3.
I mean, I looked at Baylor before RG3 as a joke of a program, kind of like a Kansas, to be completely honest. Now I don't know if my history there is, I'm thinking of it well enough. I could be wrong historically, but I think that RG3 changed what Baylor turned into and now I understand this is connected to the Art Briles and that whole situation. But I'm just saying from the perspective of like pure football, and I guess you can't really remove the two, but he was somebody that put Baylor in the spotlight, and they were in national championship conversations 2 or 3 times since RG3 left. And I don't know if that would have been possible without him.
Fair enough.
Fair. Is anybody else going to say it, or am I going to have to be the homer?
I don't know. Well, Johnny, but here's my problem with Johnny, Kayce. Johnny had a great year, and he won the Heisman. But Texas, until this year, Jimbo Fisher, Texas A&M after Johnny was pretty much the same as Texas A&M before Johnny.
Again, this is why I look at it and say, how did Andy come up with this list? Because when I think of program changing players, and I know, oh my God, she's talking about A&M again, but Jack said it earlier that like he not only changed, I think, the way people looked at A&M, he kind of changed college football because there are people who don't even give a fuck about the sport and know who Johnny Manziel is. And coming from A&M, it like when I was growing up, it was not cool to be an Aggie, like not cool at all. Johnny Manziel comes in, they're in the SEC, they're wearing the matte black uniforms. They've got Kanye playing at Kyle Field. So like part of that was Kevin Sumlin changing it, but Johnny Manziel made A&M cool to the outside eye. And like, when I look at this list, it's like, yeah, no, you can make an argument for all of them, definitely. But like, people still talk about A&M because Drake was wearing Johnny Manziel's jersey. Like, that's program changing.
I want to give credit to one more he's got. Joey Harrington at Oregon's a great pick.
Great one.
He's got him at number 6. Joey Harrington, like Oregon wasn't cool either. Oregon was just out there. Joey Harrington gets on the scene, and ever since they've been a major program.
And I think that's what I look at when I think like program changing is like, because you talk about Deshaun Watson, like since Deshaun Watson was at Clemson, they've been an absolute powerhouse. You talk about Reggie Bush. I know it's like they didn't become a powerhouse after, like they kind of fell in, but you look at the way people perceive programs. That's what program changing means to me. So like Joey Harrington made Oregon cool. Well, Johnny Manziel made A&M cool.
I think
RG3 made Baylor cool. So that's to Jack's point as well.
Like coaches change programs too. Like I just think I don't think anybody has ever changed a program the way Jerry Sandusky changed Penn State.
I mean, did we?
I mean, when did you think of that joke?
It wasn't really a joke. It was just
It may not be I don't know if we could do this. It could get our podcast canceled, but 10 of the most program defining people, truly, like not including players, coaches, boosters.
Yeah.
Who are they?
Yeah. We'll have that discussion another day.
Another day. But I mean, to your point, the heinous things that went on at Penn State will always be remembered at Penn State.
Oh, for sure.
So I didn't mean to bog us down there. Okay, so right now I'm going to get to one thing. I've got to announce. Last year, I was all about Notre Dame. I saw them early. I decided they were going to be a national title contender.
What are you doing? It's March. What are you doing?
I rode Notre Dame all year. I've got my team picked out that I'm going to ride all year that I think can win the national title.
Already?
Oh, okay, plug it. Do not say it now. Say it.
No, that's why I'm setting it up. I'm about to say it right now.
I must say, I think that in this podcast arena at Barstool Sports, other than maybe KFC Radio, I think that our team, our squad has the best hair. What would you say?
I'd agree. I mean, I like Brandon's hair. I love my hair. And I would say both your guys' hair is great. Okay. So, and I've heard that when I heard about this specific salon that we're talking about in the Barstool history, it's more guys that have been involved with it, but I've heard that I'm wrong about that, and that's which is big.
Girl squad over here.
Girl squad.
Fleischman Salon. If you're a Barstool person, you know that Fleischman has taken over the office. John, Kevin, Keith, Brandon Walker being the number one glow up in the history of the company. Jared Carabas, all these guys are Fleischman guys, but Erica, who is one of the best people ever, she sent me a whole kit of the shampoo, conditioner, sea salt spray, hair gummies, because I was telling her that I cut a lot of my hair off to make it healthy and I want it to grow. And let me tell you guys something. And I know we put it on the Instagram and we put it out on Twitter, but I used a sea salt spray right after I got out of the shower the other day. Didn't have to dry it, didn't have to touch it, just sprayed it on. My hair looked like I had just gotten off of a surfboard. It was phenomenal. And I didn't have to do anything, Katie. Like, you know how much of it's a pain in the ass to do your hair. The sea salt spray, you just spray it in and go.
That looks really good.
That photo, the hair, Kayce, I just looked at the hair. It was like, it looked like you were in a beach movie or something. It was amazing.
Well, that's straight up Erica Fleischman. She's told me how to use it. But again, like the whole kit has really been saving my hair. And yes, like normally it's a men's salon, so the guys can go, but all of her products right now helping out the girls too. And so you can get the Boys of Summer bundle, which gives you the styling product, gives you the hair vitamin, which also tastes amazing. It tastes like candy, and it helps your hair stay healthy and promote hair growth. If you get the kit, it saves you 15% off of normal pricing of these products. So the entire shop right now at Fleischman, again, boys, I know it's for you. Girls, you can use it too. The entire shop right now is 20% off using the promo code Walker. And this does include the kits, so you get a lot of extra savings. And plus, any day that you can see Brandon Walker looking the way that he does, I put up a picture of him in 2018 the other day, and he just got fucking roasted because of how he looked. I mean, Fleischman changed his life, and now she's changing mine. My hair is going to be long before you know it.
All right, here we go. So I've identified my team. I'm about to ride to the national title in 2021.
Can you quiz us? Maybe we can guess. You can give us clues or something.
Yeah, no, I do. I want to know why you're doing it in March.
Be the first one on the boat.
Okay, fair enough.
Be the first one on the boat. I'm just gonna be the first one. You all get one guess, starting with the ladies. Kayce?
Oh, me
who
first?
am I about to pick?
You are about to pick Georgia.
Katie, you have one guess. Who would you like to say?
Can it be anyone, or does it need to be outside the Clemson, Bama, Ohio State?
It has to be. Great question. So what I say is Clemson, Bama, Ohio State, national title contenders every year. This is outside of that three. It's one of the teams outside of the three.
I like the Georgia thing, so just to not repeat that, I'll go Oklahoma.
All right, and Jack, your vote.
Georgia. I'm with Kayce, Georgia.
Ladies and gentlemen, every year I make fun of this team's fan base for saying this is their year. Every year I make fun of their coach who can't win in big game situations. Some would say he's a golf cart that has some sort of elected
Governor?
official attached to it.
A governor in a golf cart, some might say.
It ain't a president. I have looked at this. I knew coming out of the season they would be very good because they got better at the end of the year. And I know we make fun of Georgia fans getting excited every year, but guess what? We made fun of Clemson fans getting excited every year and failing until they actually won one. A lot of teams almost get there, and finally get there. Clemson did it. Ohio State had a couple near misses. But Georgia this year, you're going to say, oh, we say that every year. No, it only takes one. They're going to have the best quarterback in the SEC, JT Daniels. He's very good. They're going to have a very good offense. Their defense has been great for a couple of years. And here's the biggest deal. Their schedule, they do not have to go play a game at Alabama this year. They had to last year. That changed everything for them. Look in the East. Tennessee is garbage. Kentucky is garbage. Vanderbilt is garbage. South Carolina is garbage. Missouri is garbage. Florida is starting over at quarterback and offensively. Florida is taking a big step back. They're going to win the East without even showing up. And in the West, they don't have to play anybody. Their toughest game is Auburn, who is garbage, by the way, and they're starting over at coach.
Mm-hmm.
They start the season in Atlanta against who? The Clemson Tigers.
Clemson.
Georgia wins
And
that
Charlotte
game.
also.
Georgia wins that game in Atlanta. By the way, Clemson starting over at quarterback. Clemson starting over at a lot of places. Georgia wins that game in Atlanta. They're going to be either number 1 or number 2 in the country, and there's nobody in the SEC that can touch them until they get the SEC title game. Georgia's going to be in the national title contention all year, and they deserve to be. They're going to be incredible. I hate Georgia fans because they're too obnoxious. I think they're a dirty program, but they've got a hell of a team this year, and that is who my Notre Dame is for this year.
You have been leaving little breadcrumbs about this take for a while, and that's why my guess was Georgia, because you started kind of on that train even in like December.
No. It was back in like October.
Well, yeah, but like you were really like the bigger breadcrumbs, the more like pertinent breadcrumbs were closer to the end of the season, and you stopped making fun of Georgia fans as much. And I was like, putting all these things together. But then you look at the rest of the conference. So, I mean, listen, like, I don't blame you. I will say that I feel like the Georgia fans are not going to accept your fan base. You're jumping on the fan base because you've made so much fun of them. But I guess that's to be determined.
Okay. Well, Georgia fans can lick my nuts. I don't care. I'm just telling you what I think. I said a lot of bad things about.
I know you have, but like, so Notre Dame fans like really appreciated you being their megaphone last year. I don't think Georgia fans are going to be the same way.
Well, here's what fans got to realize. If I think you're going to be elite, I'm going to say you're elite. If I think you're full of shit, I'm going to say you're full of shit. I'm not gonna lick your testicles like every other Dick and Harry out here in ESPN. I'm not gonna pretend that you're cute. I'm not gonna pretend your obnoxious fans are not obnoxious. Georgia fans are obnoxious, but they're gonna have a hell of a team this year, and I'm not gonna deny that.
There was a lot of licking balls in that little rant of yours.
Yeah, I'm tired. I miss my cat. I wish I was home watching him lick his balls.
What?
Fluffy.
You like watching your cat lick his balls?
I like being in the basement with my cat, and that's what he does sometimes, you know.
Is your cat not neutered?
Yeah.
I think one of the first jokes I ever remember my dad telling me is pointing at the cat in the corner saying, "You see that cat licking his balls?" And I said, "Yeah, wouldn't you like to do that?" I said, I don't know. And he said, "Well, that cat would probably scratch you," because implying that I would go lick the cat. Anyway, he said a lot of bad jokes. He was quite strung out on drugs. Okay.
How old were you when he made that joke? Out of curiosity.
4 or 5.
What I thought. I definitely didn't think it was an age appropriate joke.
I didn't even know what balls were.
Katie, credit to us for the first podcast episode in forever that neither one of us made a sex joke first. Can I please, like, this is noteworthy. We're over an hour in, baby.
Well, Katie's sick and you're tired.
Oh, I managed to do it.
Yeah, I mean, who cares if you're tired? Sex jokes happen. And I told you guys before we started this podcast what I was halting to do this podcast.
By the way, is that not still trying to go on?
No, it is. I keep having to look down at my phone a couple times.
Okay, all right.
It's a real buzzkill that we're doing this podcast late at night.
I was going to say, where's the phone? Okay, there it is. Yes. Kayce, we're on YouTube. Okay. Okay.
All right, it's hot in here, folks.
Do you want to do your 2-minute drill?
Sure.
You brought the 2-minute drill questions this week, right?
I did bring the 2-minute drill questions. 3 are college football questions, 2 are not.
Katie, did you have any other news that I missed?
Johnny is going to be on the PGA Tour.
Yeah, what's going on with that? Johnny and Caleb now? Johnny and Caleb are going to meet on the PGA Tour?
And Shooter McGavin.
Sure, I forgot about him.
He was talking about it today.
I will say there was a few things from the FCS, specifically North Dakota State lost for the first time in like forever.
Yeah, got their ass kicked.
Did you guys see? I didn't see this until today, but did you see the clip of the Youngstown State coach just lowering his shoulder on the guy on the sidelines, on the Northern Iowa player on the sidelines?
No.
It's on our Twitter.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. You tweeted it today, right? You said
Today.
We missed this over the weekend. Yeah.
And that coach, so he lowered his shoulder a little bit and really took out this player, considering the player had 50 yards of forward momentum and him sprinting, and this guy just lowered his shoulder. But he's been removed from the sidelines for the rest of the season.
Probably should be, by the way. I mean,
the ongoing saga, which I understand, I said saga kind of like in a joking terms, but it is seriously. It seems as if the alumni and even leadership of University of Texas and the players are really still divided on the eyes of Texas in terms of its origins, and seems like alumni and big donors want it to be played. Players disagree with that. I think Sark had a comment about it, and a player came out, Caden Stearns, and said he was threatened by some alumni that we would have to find jobs outside of Texas if they didn't participate in the Eyes of Texas, which is played, for those who don't know, after the game, and the players gather around. Most didn't this year because it does have racist origins.
Okay, so here's my take on this. I had prepared something thinking, I did a little research. I want to see the lyrics. I want to know what was racist about them. So it is the lyrics. There's nothing racist about the lyrics of the Eyes of Texas, and the problems the players have aren't in the lyrics. So if you say the lyrics aren't racist and you leave it at that, saying, well, the players just need to get over it, you're missing the point of what they're saying.
Right.
So the song itself was back many decades and years ago used by groups that were quite racist themselves and were using it in racist ways. So the song is not racist. So therefore, the boosters, when they say the song's not racist, are right. The players are not saying the song is racist. They're saying it was connected to racism, therefore we don't want to play it. And when you look at it through that lens, the players are right.
yes.
Now, here is the thing about modern college football. Boosters run the program. Players also run the program. So you've got two groups, but ultimately, if I'm a fan, boosters ain't winning me shit on Saturday.
No.
Boosters will also be dead soon. I back the players.
Right there is the biggest thing when you see a lot of these things that happen, and it's happened at a bunch of different schools. There is a very solid age difference. It's like the olds are like, no, we're keeping this. This is our history. And the younger generation, the players are like, wait a minute, we're allowed to change things that we figured out are wrong. And that's what you're seeing at Texas is the players are like, yes, we know that the physical lyrics themselves are not racist, but the origin of them is. And so the olds are like, no, but we're just singing the lyrics. And it's like, all right, man, come on. Just open up your mind a little bit. And so I side with the players on this. I really do. And I understand that the fan base is going to be split, but I always think it's going to be split by age. I really, truly believe that.
I don't think I side either way. I see both sides. However, players are the present and the future of your program. If you've got a problem with it now, it's not going to get fixed by the boosters digging their heels in the sand and saying, no, you're not getting my money. That ain't going to fix it. And the only thing that's going to fix it is the players are going to win one way or the other. So you might as well just start saying, I need to start looking at it from the player's perspective. Because guess what, boosters? All that money, all those cars, all of those favors you give to recruits, if you piss off the players you got now, you ain't gonna have nobody to give those damn things to.
No, and also that song's not winning you football games. Like
not a bit.
You dig your heels in on that song and it starts becoming an actual problem, like long term with the University of Texas players. It's not winning you shit. The players are. And if they have a problem with it, you need to listen to them.
All right. There's my very reasoned take. And I'm sure there will be some sort of psycho out there somewhere that goes on a 9-tweet rant about it tomorrow. But you're not going to please a lot of people anyway.
I know. Hate listens are still listens, baby. Jack, let's not sugarcoat it here. Student loans, they just flat out stink.
Absolute worst. I mean, they're probably at the top of the rankings for worst things in the world all the time. It's just the worst.
And it doesn't matter how old you are, if you're still paying them off, they're a pain in your ass. And times are tough right now. We know that. It's been a really shitty year, and worrying about your student loan payments doesn't make anything easier. But as we've said before, our friends with Earnest, they make it a whole lot easier, Jack. You know that.
And they're helping, which is what we love to hear. And like you said, I mean, it's been a shitty 12 months, and it may have been shittier before that. However, Earnest is here to help, and I think they're going to help our listeners a little bit more as well.
And you can figure it out really fast. That's what's really cool about this. You don't have to go sit in a bank. You don't have to go sit and talk to somebody. You can just go online and check your rate risk-free in just 2 minutes, and you can get radically flexible payments, and you can pick your loan term. So you can do this all from the safety of your own home. You don't have to go out in public, and then they can take all of your loans and put them into one for you. And if you do want to talk to a real live person, you can also do that. So Earnest is kind of putting all the customer service things, making it easier for you, and you won't feel overwhelmed by your student debt anymore, Jack. That's the key here. Being overwhelmed by debt, no thanks.
How easy they make it for you to just do it on your computer or your phone or whatever. That's what puts them above the rest, and I love that. I love them for that. It's just it's so easy.
Well, above the rest for that reason, then, and also that if you go right now to earnest.com/barstool, they give you $100 just cash.
That's $100.
Like just cash bonus. Like, hey, we're going to help you save money, but in order to save money, here's a free $100. So if you go to earnest.com/barstool, our listeners get $100 cash bonus when you refinance your student debt. Terms and conditions do apply. Once again, that's $100 cash bonus when you go to earnest.com/barstool to refinance your student loan, which is not available in all states. Again, terms and conditions do apply. And now I'm going to do the little voice. If Brandon was here, he would tell me to do it.
Here we go. Do it.
Visit earnest.com/barstool for more details. Terms and conditions do apply. Earnest student loan refinancing made by Earnest Operations, LLC in San Francisco, California. Visit earnest.com licenses for a full list of licenses.
Love it.
Bang. All right.
2-minute drill. You've got it, right?
Presented by Kayce Smith. Now, first 3-year college football. Number one. I don't know why this came to my brain, but I'm really interested in your answers. If you could have one current college football head coach give a speech at your wedding, who would it be?
Boy, oh boy. Great. Okay. God, I hate to do this and sound like a homer, but I think I would have said him last year too, before he got to Mississippi State. But I just put a live mic and a couple of glasses of wine in Mike Leach's hand. I think he's going to be the funniest guy in the room. He's going to start talking about my wife's dress, and he'll end up like talking about Kermit the Frog or socialism in the 1940s, just wherever his brain goes. I think Mike Leach is a good one. Orgeron, definitely a good one.
I don't know about him because I don't know if you won't be able to understand him.
That's what makes it good.
Okay.
That's what makes it good. I kind of like Brett Bielema because I would like to talk to him. I'd like for him to say some things that are borderline erotic during my wedding. Plus, you need a fat guy. Those are my top 3. I go Leach, Bielema, Orgeron. Who do you have?
So here I have Leach too, and I knew that like I was like, I don't know if he's going to go the Homer way or not, but I would have said that no matter where he was coaching, Texas Tech, Washington State, it wouldn't have mattered, because you're right. I think he would go off the wall. Now, here's an answer I know you are absolutely going to hate, but if I want a truly impassioned, just from the heart,
No, you are not going to say it.
Dabo Swinney.
No.
A truly cheesy wedding moment that they'll have the grandmas will be in tears. The girls
No.
the guys will be standing
you're-
up like, let's go, coach. Like, Jesus
No,
is happy.
Your dad's gonna look at your mom and say, "This guy's full of shit."
No, I think that Dabo is so believable in those moments. Like, the players all buy into what he's saying. You know, he's gonna get that glass. He probably doesn't even drink. He's gonna get that glass, and he's gonna make everyone cry in the room. So it's like, if I want the funny, like my stomach hurts because I'm laughing so hard, I'm going Mike Leach. If I want the truly emotional, passionate speech, I am going Dabo Swinney.
How about the coach that's in the intro that wants dogs? You don't want no kitty cats, meow. Kind of like I'd like to hear from that guy at my wedding.
Yeah, no, I knew you would hate that answer, but I'm standing by it. Jack wants to like off himself right now because I said that.
I would. Do y'all have, Katie, Jack? Do you have one? I'd like to go on the question too, because I'm about to run out of gas. But if you have one, I'll let you go ahead and say it.
I was going to say Mike Gundy.
See,
Maybe like
I'm kind of over Mike Gundy. Like
Okay.
that. I'm a man. I'm 40 happened 15 years ago. He hasn't really gotten to that level since.
Also, I feel like he might say something problematic.
Yeah, but that's half the fun.
Well, that would fit in at my wedding, actually, in Mississippi.
Okay, number 2. You are still a fan of your current school. However, you can trade uniforms with any team. Who would it be?
Okay. I'm going to please somebody here a lot.
It's not me, because we already have the same uniform scheme.
Right. I think Carolina has the best uniforms in sports, not just football, sports. I think basketball and football, sky blue, Carolina blue, whatever you want to call it, is the prettiest color in the world. And I love it. And I love it in football. I would trade with them.
I do love the color. I mean, Tiffany blue is my favorite color. However, I will go with USC. I think that, like, I think they're some of the most iconic uniforms, but I just love how they pop. I love the red, the shiny. I was going to say Michigan, but I feel like if I had to pick for my school, I would still go USC.
I think if I could break it down into like individual things, like it would be cool to be a fan of those gold helmets in Notre Dame. And I'm not talking about the old bland ones. I'm talking about the new ones that really pop.
Yeah. I know.
Those are cool.
It also depends on the sport. Like for basketball, I would go North Carolina, like 1, 2, 3, easy. But for some reason with football, like I'm more USC Michigan style.
All right. Question number 3.
Question number 3. And I don't know if you're going to have this answer necessarily, but I have this answer. So we're going to see, what is the saddest for another team that you've ever been?
Oh, man. Oh, great. Phenomenal question. Love it.
Do you want me to give my answer while you think about it?
Please do.
Because it's also one of the saddest I've been about another team, like not just for another team, about another team. And I think you could probably guess it. We've talked about it multiple times on this podcast. For USC against Vince Young in Texas in that Rose Bowl game.
Oh no, fuck them. They were a fake dynasty anyway.
No, I was so sad for them because like they had that game, the ending when Vince Young, he's in the end zone. Maybe I'm just projecting because I was so sad in that moment, but I was truly sad for the USC fans in the stands in that game.
I don't know that I've ever just been flat out sad, but
that's why this is like connected. Like it's like I'm sad for them because
I'll tell you what, I got one that's off the beaten path. I'm probably the only one that really remembers it, especially here. You guys didn't really live through it. Well, Kayce kind of lived through it. So Mississippi State is at a certain level, and other teams are at a higher level. But in 2000, Michael Vick took the world. 99, Michael Vick took the world by storm, and they played for a national title. It was like Virginia Tech playing for a national title, and they played with them, man. They played with them for a little while. And Florida State was like the biggest, baddest dude on the block. 2000, Florida State's just a different animal. 99, Florida State's a different animal. I really thought Virginia Tech coming out of nowhere to get to here and then losing. I felt bad for them, but I really don't feel. I was thinking ordinarily I would feel bad for the team that lost on 4th and 25, but it was Ole Miss, so it's the highlight of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is a biased question because it is. It's like
I tell you, no. Okay, I got one. But this isn't a team. This is an individual I felt bad for.
Okay.
That poor Michigan punter.
Oh.
A couple of years ago.
Oh my God.
That poor son of a bitch who just all he had to do was just catch it, kick it, fall on it, something.
Fall down, like just cover it up.
Yeah.
Wait, that feels like that was like 10 years ago now at this point.
7 years ago, maybe?
Like it's close.
I bet it's more than you think that it is. I think it was like
this fall will be 6 years.
Oh wow. God, that poor son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, you could that one's probably top, but like you can pick out so many different college kickers too that you feel sad for.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Right. Great question. What's number 4?
This is not college football. Fuck, marry, kill, Brandon Walker. Pizza, hamburgers, and tacos.
Can we replace tacos with barbecue?
Barbecue.
Tougher.
I think he likes tacos too.
I mean, you know what I'm killing? It's going to be a shock. I'm a little over pizza. Like, we have it at the office so much.
That's true.
We're Barstool Sports is one of the 7 highest pizza consuming countries in the world. We have pizza all the time. We'll just have pizza just to have it. I'm kind of over pizza, so I'm marrying burgers because I think I've moved into a point in my life where just finding a good burger is like almost, I don't want to say sexual, but it's just a spiritual experience. You know, finding a great burger, especially in New York, where you can find an average one, but once you find a great one, it's just like, wow, look at what I did.
Pimento cheeseburgers that we had in the airport. Where were we? Were we in Atlanta?
We were in Atlanta, yeah.
Oh, those burgers were sexual.
And then, so I'll fuck a taco. Yeah, I'll fuck a taco tonight. I mean, if you think about it.
Yeah, sexual innuendo just opened itself up.
Yeah, on multiple levels. All right. Question number 5.
I'm just like dying. Okay. Outside of a sporting event, what was Brandon Walker's favorite date he ever went on before he married his wife? Like the activity itself.
You know, here's the thing, Kayce. You grew up in Mississippi. You take a girl out to a restaurant. You maybe go to a movie. There wasn't a whole lot.
Which is why I'm asking you this question.
I'll tell you what, Kayce, and this was before my wife. But in 2003, I was like 24, and I dated a girl for about 3 months that was very athletic and active. And instead of going to dinner, we would play tennis, or we would play basketball, or we would play golf, and it was a magical time. I think like playing tennis against each other is such a better date than like going to a movie because it's just, I don't know, it's active.
I agree.
That would be it. I played tennis with this girl on our first date, and I was like, this is crazy. I like this.
Did you let her win?
That was a problem. I didn't know how to let her win. I'm not going to let that bitch. No, fuck you, bitch. All right. You ain't coming into my hometown. First of all, she had to come from Columbus to West Point. You ain't coming into my hometown. The high school, we're at the high school. It was the high school course. You ain't coming to my high school and beating me in tennis. I'll beat her 6'2".
So you just like actually tried. So like you were just out there just like, fuck this girl. Like it's our first date, but I'm just going to like Roger Federer her ass.
Oh, I was athletic too. I was in shape. I was hammering. I shook her hand afterwards and said, good game.
You shook her hand?
Well, it was first date. I didn't want to kiss her. I wanted to kiss her, but I didn't.
You couldn't have like given her a hug or something? You shook her hand?
Huge tits.
Wait, was this the one that went to the football game with you?
No, that was no. That was another girl.
Seems to have a type, Jack.
I love a titty. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry.
And you guys played tennis. Wow.
Wow.
It's a good date. That was my favorite date. She asked me my favorite date. That was it.
Your favorite date wasn't with your wife though?
She said before my wife.
I did say before.
I thought it was before like marriage. Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
no. Like before, because obviously like every time like he started dating his wife and she's the one. So I was thinking like, what did Brandon Walker do on dates with people that didn't work out?
My favorite date would be my wife. So okay, me and my wife met at a hamburger restaurant at 1:30 on a Saturday afternoon. I went to get a burger. She went to get a burger. All the tables and plates were full, so we had to sit together. We started talking. I asked her out for a date that night, and we went out at 6 o'clock that night. I dropped her off at midnight, and then we had a second date the next day, and that was it. I don't think we ever had a day apart after. So that's my favorite date.
That is so cute.
Oh,
Yep.
a day apart after.
Romantic as fuck.
Right?
Are you gonna cry, Kayce?
I might.
Okay.
I might.
Wow.
Meanwhile,
I'm all about like anti-rom right now, but I'm all in on
That's,
Brandon Walker
that's
rom.
a
meanwhile,
great
the phone's
story.
still around her crotch. All right, I'm gonna make an executive decision. Did you have 5 questions? That was it.
Yeah, that was it.
Can I make an executive decision?
Yeah,
We put out a tweet. I'm out. I'm done. I'm out of gas.
that's fine.
Can we hold that?
Long days.
Jack, do you mind if we hold it?
No, let's I think people understand. We'll get it to him next week.
No, you know what we could do?
Oh, you know what?
We could do it on Clubhouse.
We'll do it on Clubhouse Thursday.
We'll do it on Clubhouse. That's what we're gonna do.
Join
So,
Clubhouse,
on
and
Clubhouse.
we're gonna start those on Thursday.
All right. I'm gonna get back to my
I
conversation.
bet you are. My name's Brandon Walker. That's Kayce Smith, Jack, and Katie. That's Unnecessary Roughness.